When we think of a powder puff, something soft and feminine comes to mind. And while a recent local event was called a powder puff race, well, don't let the name fool you, because it was made up of a field of tough and sassy horsewomen.
This special all-lady charity trotting event, which took place at Ocean Downs, benefited Believe in Tomorrow, a foundation that provides exceptional hospital and housing services to critically ill children and their families. All the generous lady drivers donated their winnings to this wonderful organization. So, who are these generous lady drivers? Well, let's check them out in post-position order. Stacy Kyoto had the rail as she drove Whitesville Liz. This Jersey girl holds several speed records as a female driver, including the record for the fastest mile by a woman reinsman with a 1:49 3 mile, with her fave horse, Mighty Young Joe. Doreen Daly was in the 2 spot with H.S. DeRoy. The New York native, who has competed at Ocean Downs for the past several seasons, is no stranger to winning all-lady events, having picked up victories in races like the Mildred Williams and the Lady Godiva. Karen Moore occupied post position 3 on the gate as she drove Joey's Cash. This first state native, who calls Smyrna home, rarely drives, but when she does, she makes a statement. In 2007, Karen drove 1 time, and she took no prisoners with a win at Harrington. Miriam Toland took over the driving duties for the Trotter Rocketpedia with post number 4. The 72-year-old harness racing owner and trainer currently drives on the upstate New York circuit, but in the winters, she heads south to Pompano in Florida to compete. With post 5, it was Linda McDonald in the sulky for Let It Go. Linda is a very familiar face in the Delmarva racing community, but she was also the first female driver to win a stakes race at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Linda doesn't drive much anymore, but she continues to make a huge impact as a trainer, and her horses have been major forces in Delaware Sire Stakes competition. On to number 6, and it was Lori Davis taking over the driving duties for Tigers Too Good. The Ohio native, who has been a Delaware girl for several years now, doesn't drive as much as she used to, but instead has concentrated on training and owning. And in very recent years, she's conditioned to multiple Delaware Standardbred Owners Association award winners. And Hannah Miller occupied post 7 with Bella's Punket. The 25-year-old has been named the United States Amateur Driving Champion 2 years in a row, having been a dominant force in the Billings Series. In 2015, she drove at 21 different racetracks in the United States and Canada, and represented the U.S. in an international amateur driving competition in Spain. And in 2016, Miller represented the U.S. in an International Amateur World Cup in Hungary. And even more recently, Hannah Miller crossed the wire first over the half-mile oval in this special Powder Puff Derby with Bella's Punket in 2:01 3. Owned and trained by Jay Baxter, the 5-year-old trotting mare won in dominant fashion by 5.5 lengths.
Hannah, you are a world champion amateur driver, but usually you're racing against dudes.
Yeah, most of the time it's guys. This tonight was definitely a change for me.
So when they call you up from Ocean Downs and they're like, do you want to do this? What's your first thought?
Absolutely. First of all, I've been to Ocean Downs once, but I was not driving then. That was like 6 years ago. So like I wanted to come down for a while and drive here, and I got the opportunity, and it supports a good cause. Why not?
Now, when you look at the program and you're like, okay, this is my game plan, because obviously you have to have some kind of game plan going in. Was it the same? Did it change from what you anticipated you were going to do?
So actually, first of all, I looked at the USTA and it came out, and I didn't even see the program. I was like, I got the 7-hole, I'm on the outside, I don't know how good this horse is. Saw the program, and it was one of the favorites, so I was like, oh, this is great, but I still have the 7-hole. And I made a game plan in my head, kind of, but you never know. You don't know. Once you go behind the gate, you don't know what's going to happen. You kind of, and there was a breaker in the first turn, you got to always look out for that. But it worked out kind of how I wanted it to, They went down to the half hour right, and I picked up the pieces.
Yeah, you made, like, quote unquote, like, the winning move, during that last part of the race. So when did you think you had it won? I had, like, when you made that move, I thought, all right, she's the winner. But what were you
down
thoughts?
the backside. I passed the half down the backside. I was like, I think I can reel this last one in. And yeah, around the last turn, and we cleared, and yeah, very good. The horse was very good tonight.
Well, it's so cool to see you out there, and I hate to play the woman card, but seriously, for all those little girls out there that just are not sure if they can make it as a harness driver, do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, this is one of the things that inspires me to drive is I get little girls that come up to me and say, oh, you do it, so I can do it too. And like that just makes my heart so happy. And I tell them to go out, go to the races, get involved any way you can. That definitely would help.
Thank you, Hannah, for being on the show, and congrats again on this special win. After the race, Hannah was joined by Linda McDonald, who took home second place honors, and Karen Moore, who did the work on the front and picked up the show money, as they were honored with awesome trophies. And huge heartfelt thank yous to all the talented horsewomen who came out to go behind the gate and participate in this special race for charity.